audience exhausted as Israel-Hamas war rages on. At least 18 people killed in Ukrainian attack on Belgorod. Good afternoon, you're watching World Today. With me, I'm Jessica Lee. Now, guided by the principles of relevance, lovable and relatable, RTM has undergone so much evolution in a span of 1 year to reach wider audience groups on multiple fronts. Now, with these principles in mind, RTM has been turning heads left and right throughout 2023 via numerous changes made to its appearance to look more vibrant and energetic. Our own Haziq Zahid spoke with RTM's Director General, Dato' Suhaimi Sulaiman, to get an insight of what we can expect on our screens in 2024.
2023 has seen massive changes in RTM as part of its effort to cater to the need of the people and evolve according to the current media landscape.
According to Dato' Suhaimi Sulaiman, RTM saw a tremendous increase in viewership in 2023. This was a result of taking different approaches in its program presentation to deliver fast, crisp and relatable content combined with an energetic and vibrant appearance.
And I think moving forward to the next year, we'll just continue to improve in our look and feel, in our storytelling, tell the story in a shorter duration, but there must be a sense of completeness in the story. So that's what we are working towards 2024, and I think you guys have done a wonderful job.
Combating fake news is part and parcel of RTM's approach as the leading national broadcast news agency. With a huge library of programs lined up such as Ya Betul, Pastikan Sahih, to name a few, to tackle the rampant spread of fake news, Dato' Suhaimi said RTM will continue to press forward to be the front line against unverified, unfiltered and untrustworthy sources.
But today, so many people claiming to be journalists, but some are not trained, some are very bad journalists because they are not even journalists. They tell stories based on other people's stories. So what we need to educate people now is they have to make sure that they find, they compare the news from different platforms, different organizations, and always go back to a very credible source. RTM is a credible source, so always come back to us.
The oldest broadcasting station is not letting down at the entertainment front. In 2023, RTM held a concert series dubbed as Ini Baru Bintang, which gathered some of the biggest names in music industry under one roof, such as Datuk Siti Nurhaliza, Dayang Nur Faiza, Jamal Abdillah, and a lot more. Dato' Suhaimi said that there will be bigger entertainment content coming up next year, including the long-awaited return of Bintang RTM.
So I think this is where we're going to stamp our mark again. Bintang RTM is a must-watch program for 2024. That's not just that's not it. We have more coming also in the pipelines. Yes, we have Orchestra RTM. They have a special program called The Big Band under Datuk Mozani, and I think that will also be a hit. So we have lots of plans for 2024. We will also have more reality shows on RTM Click. And in fact, they are bringing in more eyeballs compared to television to a certain extent, for certain programs, I mean,
To make sure its programs reach out to a greater audience, RTM is creating content that is not only curated for television but also for the digital media. Not only sticking to traditional terrestrial channels, RTM is also actively making its digital presence bigger through its own OTT platform and also social media platform such as TikTok.
So I think we have to go where the audiences are, where the viewers are. So it's not just waiting for audience to come to us. We have to work hard. We have done our research, we have done our survey internally. We know where are the people that where we can reach potential audience and grow our viewers. Basically now, we produce content that will move to different platforms. So we have to help the programs to grow legs so that they will crawl to all these different platforms. So that's the strategy for 2024.
Fueled by positive energy, RTM is gearing towards 2024 in full force to reach towards greater heights.
You must have the energy to produce good content, you must have the energy to present them, and you must have the energy to market them. And when people see you are excited in producing something, yeah, you can tell a good production than not a very good production, because it's based on that energy. It is that energy that will carry us to 2024, and that will be something that we can actually continue watching, and I don't think people will be disappointed at all. In fact, they'll be very happy with our offerings for the coming 2024. Yeah, we have lots in the pipeline. Be it news, be it magazine, dramas, entertainment, sports, lots of things to watch. Well, 2024 will be an exciting year for RTM because we have new programs, variety of content, and we also have exciting approaches in storytelling. Yeah, you can watch us on TV1, TV2, TV OK, Berita, Sports, and also on our OTT, which is RTM Click. Suhaimi Sulaiman, RTM.
And on to the foreign front, fighting rages on Saturday across Gaza, where displaced Palestinians said they were exhausted with no end in sight to the war between the besieged territories' Hamas rulers and Israel, now in its 13th week. Smoke billowed over the Gaza Strip's southern city of Khan Yunis, the focus of recent fighting in the grinding war. Further south, the border city of Rafah near Egypt was teeming with Palestinians seeking safety from Israel's relentless bombardment. The Israeli occupation forces kept up its campaign in the face of mounting international pushback, reporting fierce battles and airstrikes across the Palestinian territory. The Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza says the Israeli military campaign has killed nearly 21,700 people, mostly women and children. It also said that nearly 170 Palestinians were killed over the previous 24 hours. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the border zone between the Gaza Strip and Egypt should be under Israel's control, as he predicted the war in the Palestinian enclave and on other regional fronts would last many more months. Israel has said it intends to destroy Hamas in Gaza and demilitarize the territory. Netanyahu also added a rare threat to attack Iran directly over the near-daily exchanges of fire across the Israel-Lebanon border.
ציר פילדלפי, או יותר נכון הסוגר הדרומי, חייב להיות בידינו, חייב להיות סגור. ברור שכל הסדר אחר לא יבטיח את הפירוס שאנחנו רוצים וחייבים להבטיח.
At least 18 people, including children, have been killed and 111 injured by Ukrainian strikes on the center of the Russian provincial capital of Belgorod on Saturday, according to the Russian Emergencies Ministry. Regional Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov said a residential area had been hit, as he also urged all residents to move to air raid shelters as sirens sounded around the city. The Belgorod region, which adjoins northern Ukraine, has, like other Russian border zones, suffered shelling and drone attacks all year that authorities have blamed on Ukraine. Now, Russia has requested a meeting of the UN Security Council after the airstrikes. Moscow also said that it would retaliate, and reports of attacks in Ukraine have been coming in throughout the evening. Still to come, thousands of Serbians protest alleged electoral fraud. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited a holy town on Saturday to open fresh transport links, catering to pilgrims for a new temple steeped in history of sectarian violence. Ayodhya's new shrine to Lord Ram will be formally unveiled next month on the grounds where a centuries-old mosque once stood before it was torn down by Hindu zealots more than 3 decades ago.
Millions are expected to visit the temple each year, and its construction was a long-standing pledge of Modi's ruling party. Huge crowds turned out to witness Modi's procession throughout the city, formally to open a new airport and upgrade roads and rail services. But his visit also had the air of a campaign stop, coming just months before national elections he is widely expected to win. The Ayodhya temple, standing 50 meters in height and built at an estimated cost of $240 million, has helped buttress his image as a custodian of India's majority faith ahead of the vote. Now, such is the excitement around the project that Modi appealed to Hindus to refrain from visiting the site on the day he is slated to preside over its inauguration next month.
Thousands of protesters gathered Saturday in Belgrade in the biggest of a series of rallies against alleged electoral fraud. It marked the 13th consecutive demonstration since the 17th December parliamentary and local elections, in which Serbian President Alexander Vucic's party said it secured a commanding victory.
Opposition groups contested the results, and protesters have erected sporadic roadblocks in Belgrade, with more than 30 arrested after an attempt to storm City Hall last week. The main opposition coalition, Serbia Against Violence, as well as other groups and initiatives, allege many irregularities, including that ethnic Serb voters from neighboring Bosnia had been allowed to cast ballots illegally in the capital. International observers also reported irregularities, while several Western nations voiced concern over the electoral process. Saturday's protests were a continuation of the first 24-hour blockade of streets in central Belgrade, mainly by students organized within the Borba movement, who are calling for the results to be annulled and new votes be held.
Now, France has banned the sale and harvest of Arcachon and Normandy oysters following reports of food poisoning outbreaks. Now, at a market in Nogent-sur-Marne, southwest of Paris, oyster sellers said their businesses were affected by the ban, which comes at peak season for sales of oysters and shellfish, as they are traditionally consumed during Christmas and New Year celebrations.
Shoppers also said they were being cautioned and wanted to avoid eating oysters during this holiday season. The prefect of Manche, a coastal department in Normandy, temporarily banned the fishing, harvesting and marketing for human consumption of shellfish from the area of Saint-Vast-la-Hougue, citing detection of norovirus responsible for severe stomach flu in that area. Now, earlier in the week, oysters farmed in the Arcachon Bay on the southwest coast of France were also withdrawn from sale for the same reason. Now, on Friday, the local administration of Calvados, another department in Normandy, temporarily halted the sale and consumption of oysters farmed in 2 areas, Grand Camp-Mazy and Geoffroy-Fontenay, after cases of food poisoning were reported there.
Now, huge surf was battering the U.S. West Coast since Friday, with forecasters warning of more danger ahead after a road wave swept pedestrians off their feet and swamped a hotel. Now, rollers as high as 9 meters were expected to lash parts of California and Oregon as a powerful storm capped a year of wild and often wet weather for the region.
Ventura County, just north of Los Angeles, took a walloping on Thursday with several people hurt. Video footage showed the dramatic moment a huge wave overtopped a sea wall in Ventura City, knocking several bystanders off their feet and sending others scurrying for safety. However, experienced surfers flocked to Newport Beach in California to catch big waves battering the U.S. West Coast. The waves were being generated by a storm that was also bringing heavy rain to areas further inland. The storm is the latest episode in a year of wild weather in the U.S. West, which was hit by a fierce heat wave in July. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service, or NWS, warned of extremely dangerous conditions. It said powerful waves and life-threatening rip currents pose an exceptional risk of ocean drowning and damage to coastal structures.
A two-time Oscar-nominated actor Tom Wilkinson, who starred in The Full Monty about a group of unemployed steel workers who launched new careers as strippers, died suddenly on Saturday. The British actor's death was confirmed in a statement released by his agent on behalf of his family. Tom was 75.
Wilkinson was nominated for Academy Awards for actor in a leading role for the In the Bedroom in 2001 and for a supporting role in Michael Clayton in 2007. The Full Monty, the original 1997 smash hit about an unlikely group of men stripping, won an Oscar for Best Original Musical or Comedy Score and was nominated for 3 others, including Best Picture and Best Director. Wilkinson took home the BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Actor for the role. Wilkinson also won a 2009 Golden Globe and 2008 Emmy for his role as American political figure Benjamin Franklin in HBO series John Adams opposite Paul Giamatti. Now, he was also known for his roles in 2014 Wes Anderson's comedy drama The Grand Budapest Hotel and 2011 ensemble comedy The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
Next in sports, Manchester City close in on Premier League lead. Stay tuned. Manchester City ended a run of 3 successive Premier League home draws with a comfortable 2-0 victory over bottom club Sheffield United last night. Now, goals by Rodri and Julian Alvarez in each half barely did justice to City's dominance as they enjoyed 84% possession in a routine win that at times resembled a training session.
Despite missing Erling Haaland for a 7th consecutive game due to a foot injury, City were never troubled by the bottom of the table Blades. Now, Rodri ended Sheffield United's resistance after just 14 minutes when the Spanish midfielder surged forward and fired low into the far corner. Julian Alvarez again ably filled Haaland's shoes as the Argentine tapped in his 4th goal in 3 games to make the points safe from Phil Foden's cross just after the hour mark. City move alongside Arsenal on 40 points, just 2 points behind Villa and Liverpool, who are in action at home to Newcastle on Monday.
Manchester United's miserable season hit a new low as they crashed to a dismal 2-1 defeat at Premier League strugglers Nottingham Forest. Eric Ten Hag's side produced a wretched display that was punished by Morgan Gibbs-White's late winner at the City ground.
Nicolas Dominguez had put Forest ahead in the second half before Marcus Rashford equalised with just his 3rd goal of a woeful campaign. United's 4th loss in their last 6 games in all competitions left them languishing in 7th place in the Premier League, 9 points adrift of the top 4. United's stirring fight back from 2 goals down to beat Aston Villa 3-2 on Tuesday had been heralded as the start of a new era just days after Jim Ratcliffe's investment in the troubled club. But despite Ten Hag's claim on Friday that Ratcliffe wants to work with him, this was the latest evidence that the new regime might consider dismissing the beleaguered Dutchman. Ten Hag will have to oversee a significant improvement in United's results and performances to avoid the axe. Now, Forest moved 5 points clear of the relegation zone after Nuno Espirito Santo masterminded his 2nd successive high-profile victory.
Meanwhile, Chelsea's fans squeezed into the away end of Luton Town's tiny stadium. Now, focused on their adulation on one player in particular at the end of the Blues' 3-2 away win, Cole Palmer, the club's most impressive player so far of the season.
Palmer's signing from Manchester City in the close season puzzled many fans, with the former European champions bringing in so many other attack-minded players. He showed the ruthlessness missing from the rest of Chelsea's front line for much of the season, lashing an angle shot past Thomas Kaminski in the 12th minute. If Palmer's first strike was all about power, his second in the 70th minute showed a delicacy of touch and calmness under pressure as he rounded Kaminski and waited for his moment to steer the ball home as defenders floundered around him. In between his goals, Palmer was in the right place in the breakaway to tee up Madueke to score the visitors' second before half-time. Now, Chelsea had to endure a late Luton fight back to secure the points after goals from former Blues midfielder Ross Barkley and Elijah Adebayo as they were roared on by the home fans.
Now, over in West Asia, Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 54th goal of the calendar year as Al Nassr came from behind to beat Al Ta'awun 4-1 in the Saudi Pro League. Ronaldo finished 2023 as the world's top goal scorer for that calendar year, 2 goals ahead of Bayern Munich's Harry Kane and Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappe.
Al Nassr turned the game around against their host Al Ta'awun, who initially took an early lead with a goal from Ashraf Al-Mahmoudi in the 30th minute from a penalty. However, Al Nassr's goalkeeper Nawaf Al-Kidi initially saved the penalty before Al-Mahmoudi successfully scored on the rebound. Al Nassr quickly equalized through Marcelo Brozovic, followed by Spanish defender Aymeric Laporte, scoring the second goal before the end of the first half. Al Nassr started the second half with a rapid third goal by Portuguese player Otavio, and team captain Ronaldo sealed victory with a goal in the second minute of stoppage time. Now, the win helped Al Nassr close the gap to 7 points, with league leaders Al Hilal moving up to 46 points, while Al Hilal remains ahead with 53 points.
In tennis news, Iga Swiatek put down a marker for 2024 as the world number 1 thumped Beatrice Haddad Maia 6-2, 6-2 in the United Cup mixed team tournament on Saturday before Hubert Hurkacz handed Poland an unassailable 2-0 lead against Brazil.
For a tilt at an 11th Australian Open title when Serbia played China. Zhang Zhizhen warmed up for his encounter against the world number 1 with a 5-7, 6-3, 6-4 win over the Czech Republic's Jiří Lehecka before Zheng.
Now, Dutch doubles did the trick for the Netherlands, which battled past Norway in the first Sydney tie of the 2024 United Cup. The next Group F match will be in Monday's day session, when Norway tries to get back on track against Croatia, while the Netherlands will play Croatia on Tuesday evening.
With an aggressive performance after Arancia Rus gave the Dutch a fast start, getting past Malene Helgo 7-6, 6-1. One of the nation's most at risk from flooding driven by climate change has developed an ingenious 2-floor housing solution to help people survive what scientists warn is a growing threat. Now, this year, when the annual monsoon floodwaters swelled the country's mighty Brahmaputra River, residents living in the area did not have to abandon their homes for the first time in their lives, but merely climb up a ladder and wait out the waters. The Kudi Bari, or the tiny house, resilient homes made on bamboo stilts rising out of the floodwaters that are also easy to move to safer locations when needed, offer hope to millions. Now, winner of the country's Aga Khan Award and Britain's Sloan Medal for Architecture, Marina Tabassum developed prototype shelters to test them against flash flooding and storm winds.
It's a knockdown system, so it can be assembled, disassembled very easily. It's a mobile modular system, so that's why it can be moved from one location to another. And being a modular system, you can add and can be scaled up and down. It uses local material, and as such, the cost is much lower. At the moment, it costs about $450 per house, including labor.
Vietnam's tech company VNG, headquartered in buzzing business hub Ho Chi Minh City, is one of the nation's leading game publishers, but it also runs a digital wallet, cloud services, and Vietnam's most popular messaging platform. In Vietnam, VNG's products are already deeply embedded in people's lives. Its Zalo app has 75 million active users in a country of 100 million people, outperforming Facebook to make it Vietnam's most popular messaging platform. Now, VNG was born in 2004 as Vina Game, a startup with just 5 people who prepared the launch of their and Vietnam's first online game by traveling the country on motorcycles. They plastered posters for the game across 5,000 internet cafes. They have now moved on to fintech and AI with a mission to show the world what Vietnam, one of the world's fastest growing economies, and its engineers are capable of. But games remain a big part of the business plan, with 80% of revenue still earned in that division.
That ends our bulletin for today. Wrapping up with a recap of our top story: Palestinians exhausted as Israel-Hamas war rages on. Tune in to Malaysia Tonight, coming up at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm Jessica Lee, Malaysia Madani, Teka Perpaduan Penuhi Harapan. See you later.